Hi guys, and welcome to the start of my World Cup content. And what better way to start off the World Cup content than predicting the entire tournament. Now it's going to be a strange World Cup as it's in Qatar, which is a country that doesn't really have much footballing culture, and it's in the winter. It's a first, it's very strange, but the closer we've got to it, the more excited I've become, and now I truly believe that football's coming home. Or do I? Now before we get into my predictions, make sure to hit that like button. Let's try and get 10 likes on this video. Subscribe if you're new. I want to try and get to 200 subscribers before the end of the year. And I think the World Cup could be a big opportunity to do that. So if you enjoy football, you're excited for the World Cup, and you want someone new to watch making content, make sure to subscribe. There's also some gaming, some FIFA. There will be Football Manager on the way as well. So plenty of stuff to be getting on with. And hit that notification bell. Because if you don't, then you could miss out on some exciting World Cup content. And you don't want to be doing that. Now, let's get into my predictions. So we start with the group stage. Group A, Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal and Netherlands. To be honest, I'm going to flip this whole group on its head. Netherlands are looking like a strong side. Under Louis van Gaal, they've got some very good players, and this is a very easy group for them. If Netherlands didn't make it out, I think it would be the biggest surprise of the tournament. I'm going to put Senegal in second. Now, Sadio Mane has been ruled out of this tournament. However, I think Senegal just about edge out Ecuador because they've got that spirit. They've just came off the back of winning AFCON this year. They've been in very good form. They've got some brilliant players, Koulibaly, Mendy. They've got Ismaila Sarr from Watford knocking around as well. Idrissa Gana Gueye. There's plenty of quality players in their side. And I just think they've got that extra edge above Ecuador. And then I'm going to put Qatar at the bottom. Now, they are hosting this tournament. A lot of their players will be very prepared. They'll have had long breaks. They'll be the most prepared out of all of the sides, really, because a lot of other teams have had players playing football non-stop. Qatar, I'm not too sure that they have been. So they'll be prepared, but I don't think it's going to be enough. However, if they do beat Ecuador 1-0 in the first game, with it being 0-0 at half-time and them scoring a goal in the second half, I think Qatar might go on to win the whole tournament. Moving on to Group B. England, Iran, USA and Wales. Now for me, I'm an England fan. I've got my England top on. I think England should win this group. We've obviously got more quality than everyone else here. It's just whether those recent Nations League fixtures that were just atrocious are in the back of our heads if we really want it, if Southgate can put together the squad to go the distance. I think he can put together a squad to top this group. So I'm going to go England top. I'm going to put Iran at the bottom as well. Now they have Azmoun, who I believe went to Bayer Leverkusen from Porto. Decent striker. I believe they also have Jahakenbach. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but he was at Brighton. So there are some players in this Iran squad that we have heard of. It's not like they're a complete unknown. But I just think the quality of Wales and USA will be too much for them. So now, who is going to go through with England? Will it be Wales? I don't think so. My reasoning, Wales have done well in recent tournaments. They've managed to get out of the groups in the past two. But I've just got a slight feeling that their squad isn't too strong. I don't know. Like Bale is obviously getting a bit older. Ramsey was brilliant in those teams. He's getting older and not getting much first team football. Joe Allen is still in the squad. Sort of shows that they aren't bringing through too many more players. They've got big Kiefer Moore up front, who will be a handful. He will be able to get a few chances. He's a handful for a lot of Premier League defences. But I just believe that USA's attacking power, having Pulisic, Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams in the midfield, Weston McKennie in midfield, they've got Gio Reyna as well from Dortmund. Those 5 midfielders, that's a very decent midfield. It's much stronger than what I think Wales have to offer. I think if Wales do get through, it will be down to Dan James's pace and Kiefer Moore's heading ability. USA, the one issue that I do see lies defensively, but I think they've got enough attacking power to see them get through the group. So, England, USA, Wales, Iran. Group C, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico and Poland. Similar to the last group, I think Argentina will be top of it. They are, the strongest team here. This is Messi's possible last cup. If it's not, then it's his last World Cup playing at the highest level. So Argentina will not have an issue getting out of this group. Saudi Arabia, I believe, will be bottom. Again, I do feel harsh. I've got Qatar, Iran and Saudi Arabia all bottom of their respective groups. But I just don't see enough strength from these teams, enough quality. Poland and Mexico have players that I know. Saudi Arabia, Iran and Qatar could come onto the scene, have some unknown players that do brilliantly. But just looking at the most logic, players that play in top teams, in top leagues, are going to be of higher quality. Tends to be the case. So Argentina top, Saudi Arabia bottom, Mexico and Poland. Who's getting through out of these two? Will I leave it as it is? Will I change? I'm going to change it. Now Mexico, I think a few people fancy as a bit of a dark horse, but they've got some players that are ageing and they haven't taken them. They've decided, we need to focus on the next sort of generation of players. But I think that could be a mistake because there's some decent players not going. I've just got a feeling that Poland, Lewandowski up front, a world-class player, something Mexico don't have. In midfield, you've got some very talented players. Zielinski, he has had a great start to the season with Napoli. He's been doing so well. I think players like that will get Poland through their group. Moving on to Group D. France, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia. Now, the Aussies, I don't have much faith for. I'm going to put them bottom. I feel like it's harsh, and I feel like it's between Australia and Tunisia. I don't know what order to put them in. Same with Denmark and France. But I'm going to put Australia bottom, Tunisia third, mainly because they're taking Birmingham City's great Hannibal Mejbri. Now, I know he's on loan, but he's been brilliant for us. So I at least want them to not finish bottom. But I don't think there's any chance of either of those sides qualifying ahead of France and Denmark. Now, France is very strange. Attacking power is ridiculous. Defensively, again, they're ridiculous. But the midfield looks very light. Now, Tchouaméni and Camavinga, two good players at Real Madrid, very young, not much experience, but they're good players. They can be world-class players, but they're missing the experienced Pogba and Kante. I'm imagining Tchouaméni and Camavinga will start. They've also got Guendouzi, Rabiot, Veretout. I don't think any of them will break in. I think it will be Tchouaméni and Camavinga, and I think it's a little bit light in midfield, meaning they will concede a few goals. And there's that curse. The last team that wins the World Cup tend to struggle the next time round. Now, I think France will get through, but I really like the balance of Denmark. They've got a lot of balance. Their team all the way through, they've got a very strong core. In the Euros, they got to the semi-finals. They did brilliantly. Just about lost out to England. I think that Denmark have some brilliant players and will top the group, which may be a bit of a surprise. Now, Group E, and I'm holding my head because it's a little bit tricky. Now, Costa Rica, I think, will be bottom of this one. Japan tend to come up with a bit of a surprise, and that's where I'm a bit stuck. All it takes for Spain or Germany is to lose a game or draw a game against one of these two bottom sides, Japan or Costa Rica, and they're in trouble. I think that Spain will be the strongest of this group just because I think Germany's squad is at the weakest it's been in a long time. So I'm going to put Spain top of the group. I think Costa Rica will be bottom. Do I see Japan causing a massive surprise? Not this time round. I think Spain and Germany will get through. But I'm interested to see, if they draw with each other and then Japan or Costa Rica can beat one of them, it makes the group very, very interesting. On to Group F. Belgium, Canada, Morocco and Croatia. Now, there's always one massive surprise at every World Cup. And I was playing with the idea that it was going to be Belgium. I don't know what it is about this side. Lukaku, from what I've seen, hasn't been doing too much this season. Kevin De Bruyne is world class. If Belgium do well in this tournament, it will be down to De Bruyne's wizardry. Eden Hazard doesn't really exist anymore. So they've lost that. He's really struggled. I think that this Belgium squad are at the end of that that golden generation. I think they're in a bit of a transitional period. Defensively, they had Alderweireld, Vertonghen. They're now... I haven't looked at their squad. I'm assuming Alderweireld's not there. And Vertonghen, those two players are nowhere near their prime anymore. They wouldn't do a good job. But Belgium defensively, I don't think are great. Courtois, again, another world-class player. But, will they be able to get the job done? Now, Morocco, I am going to put bottom. Belgium, it's such a difficult one because although I think that they have the biggest chance of, not getting through the group out of all the big sides, I still think they will. And I think Croatia will also get in. Modric, again, another great player. Belgium have more quality than Croatia. Croatia, I've got a feeling, will be better defensively. Canada got some good players as well. Jonathan David, Alonso Davies. It's really tough. This group for me is the one that I really struggle with. I think that Belgium will get through, Croatia will get through, and I think Canada will narrowly miss out. But I'm going with what I should go with. Something in my head is telling me Belgium won't top this group, and they might even not get in. But I'm going to leave it at that, just because looking at the quality of the sides, I can't go away from Belgium really. Group G. Now, Brazil for me, brilliant side. I think they'll win that group comfortably. I think Cameroon will be bottom, unlike Samuel Eto'o. I'm going to put them at the bottom of the group. Serbia and Switzerland. Now, I got Serbia in my sweepstake, which means I have to put them second. But no, I think they will get second. Mitrovic is in great form. Always brilliant for Serbia. Tadic, another brilliant attacking player. Vlahovic as well is great. I think he's missing the first few games, but should be fit enough for them if they get to the knockouts. Something along those lines. Milinkovic-Savic in midfield, a very good midfield. I think Serbia have some great players, and I think they will have the edge on this Switzerland side. So Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. Final group, Group H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea. What I love about this group is Ghana and Uruguay. Everyone will probably remember, if you're old enough, back in the 2010 World Cup, I believe, I may have my dates wrong, I believe it was the 2010 World Cup, Ghana versus Uruguay, Ghana with a chance to get through to the semi-finals. Nearly scored, and I had my best friend from primary school, that's where I was at the time, was Ghanaian. So I really wanted Ghana to do well. They'd already got to the quarters and made quite a few shocks. So I wanted them to get through, and it was devastating. But looking back on it, Suarez only did what anyone would do, saving your country. Handballing it off the line to stop a goal. Asamoah Gyan then missed the penalty. Full-time whistle goes. Ghana are out. Enough reminiscing. How do we think this group's going to go? I'm going to leave South Korea at the bottom, but I think they could cause a surprise because Heung-min Son is a brilliant player. I know they don't have too many others, but Kim Min-jae as well, centre-back from Napoli. He's had a great start to this season. So there's some decent players in a few positions. Hwang Hee-chan, could they cause a shock? I don't know. Now, I'm going to put Ghana third. Ghana and South Korea, it's tight for me. I'm going to leave Ghana third, South Korea fourth. And Portugal and Uruguay is also tight. But I've got a feeling that Uruguay are going to win this group. For me, they are the dark horses. Federico Valverde, what a player. The engine on that man is ridiculous. They've got Darwin Núñez up top as well. Jimenez at the back. Araujo at the back as well. There's some real quality players in that Uruguay side. So I can see them getting top, and Portugal being one of those sides that has a slow start, but once they get into a rhythm, they could go far. So that's it for the group stage. Now we'll move on to the round of 16. And in the round of 16, some interesting ties. Netherlands v USA. I think that's quite a straightforward one. USA will scrape through the group, I think, but Netherlands will have the quality to beat them and get into the quarterfinals. We're going to skip this one for now. Spain versus Croatia. Again, Croatia did brilliantly in the last World Cup, got to the final, but I just think Spain, looking to control a game, I don't think Croatia will have the oomph that they need on the counter-attack, and I think Spain will wear them down and get through. England v Senegal, another one. I think England get through. Senegal without Sadio Mane. England have a lot of strength and strength in depth. If we are struggling, we can make changes and bring on great players. So England get through. Other teams that I think get through easily, maybe not easily, but Denmark. Poland have a few good players, a world-class player up front, but Denmark have that balance. So I see them getting through against Poland. Now on to some maybe more difficult ties. Uruguay up against Serbia. Now Uruguay, my dark horse. Serbia are also a team that I think could go quite far. What way do I go with this? I think I'm going to have to back Uruguay. I think Serbia, I wouldn't be surprised if Serbia got through. I just think Uruguay have a stronger defence. And in international football, your defence is vital. You build from your defence. And Uruguay have the edge there. Belgium up against Germany. Now I said that Germany This is one of the poorest German sides for a while. Belgium, I'm not fancying for this tournament, and I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get out their group. They've got the quality in midfield of De Bruyne, but I just think the Germans. What do we think of the Germans? They're efficient. They make the best cars, but in all seriousness, I think they've got the balance. I think Belgium aren't strong enough defensively. Germany have some good attackers, and I think they will wear down that Belgium side and get through. I've just realised that is the first team, that's not the top of the tie that I've pressed. Should have went with Belgium. However, last two ties, and these for me are the two that are very exciting. I don't see the Belgium-Germany game being particularly exciting. Probably a 1-0 to Germany, something along those lines. Now, Argentina up against France. These are two potential winners. Whoever goes on from that game has a massive chance at lifting this trophy. Argentina have Messi. I don't need to say anything more on that. Messi is, one of, if not the greatest player of all time. France with a bit of a weaker midfield, but they've got strength everywhere else. I fear for Argentina a bit defensively, and I think France have the stronger defence. I can see this game going extra time or penalties. I don't think it will be decided in the 90, if it even happens, because I've probably got all of these wrong. But I will go just based on the fact that it'll make the quarter-final, very, very exciting. The semi-final, Argentina to beat France. Match 52, Brazil v Portugal, our last one. Now Brazil, I think, are great. I think they've got the best chance out of every side in this tournament. I think they're the strongest. But Brazil, in recent World Cups, have struggled. That humiliation by Germany. In the big matches, sometimes they can't get the job done. Portugal have the whole Ronaldo fiasco. They have some brilliant players. I genuinely think both these teams are possible winners as well. I think Brazil, Portugal, Argentina and France are the four most likely winners of this tournament. So it's a shame that two of them are going to go out in the round of 16 no matter what I press. But I'm going to go for Brazil to get past Portugal. On to the quarters. Now we'll start off with England, as I have got an England topper. I think England get past Denmark in a repeat of, the Euro semi-final last time out. We got past them then in extra time, I believe. Can we get past them this time? I think we'll get the job done. Spain up against Brazil. There's only so much that Spain can do. They will try and control a game, but Brazil's attacking power, especially counter-attacking power, will be ridiculous. And I could see that being a pretty high-scoring win for Brazil. Netherlands versus Argentina. Now, Netherlands, good spine. Van Dijk, Frenkie de Jong, Memphis Depay. They've got Cody Gakpo, who's in brilliant form. And that's part of the reason why this may be a bit of a shock. But I think Netherlands are going to knock out Argentina. Now, I know that won't go down well, because Messi and Ronaldo are already out of my World Cup tournament by the quarterfinals. But I just don't see Argentina's defence being able to, do too much. But it is a tight one. Will the Messi quality be able to get past Netherlands? This is the toughest game so far for me. But I'll stick with Netherlands. Bit of a shock, but I think they'll do it. Now, Germany v Uruguay. This is where my shock carries on. The dark horses, Uruguay, I think will be able to get past Germany. I don't know why. I really like Valverde. I think Núñez on the counter-attack will be brilliant. He misses quite a few chances, but the movement he makes creates so many chances that he'll take some at some point. I think Uruguay will get past Germany. I know there's some shocks here. So we left with 2 European and 2 South American teams in the semi-finals. Netherlands versus Brazil. I think Brazil are very good. Yeah, Brazil, I just think are going to go all the way to the final. I don't think it matters who you really put in front of them. I think they'll get there. It's just whether they can then go on and win that big game, because there's just moments in football that happen. That's all I'm thinking. England versus Uruguay. Now, I don't know what to go with. I think Uruguay will make this really, really tough. But I've got to back the boys. Now, before I thought, before I sat down to make this video, I sat there and thought, I've got no chance of thinking that England will get anywhere near the final. Will probably go out in the round of 16 or the quarters. However, the more I thought about it, and I've watched, a few other people have a look at this, and they've raised some good points. Although we were in very bad form in the Nations League, the squad depth we have is brilliant. The players we can bring off the bench are brilliant. We will set up to defend, but we'll be very strong on the counter-attack. We won't concede too many goals, just like we didn't in the Euros. Which is why I think we'll keep quite a few clean sheets. And I think we'll get past Uruguay. Which means 3rd place, Netherlands, Uruguay. That's a tough one. But I'm going to give it to Uruguay. I think Federico Valverde will have a big shot at being player of the tournament, just because he offers everything. He's a brilliant player, and if Uruguay manage to get all the way to the semi-final, I think he'll be in the team of the tournament. And then Brazil up against England. It's going to happen, isn't it? Brazil. I don't know how much I believe we'll get to the final, but I think if we come up against Brazil in the final, they will wipe the floor with us. Brazil to win the World Cup. I've been saying this for the last few weeks, not on YouTube, just in general. This Brazil side, compared to every other nation, wipes the floor. I think fullback is their only concern. They've got Dani Alves, Alexandro, Alex Telles, someone else, might be Danilo, but those are not great options at fullback. However, Eder Militao can go to fullback if needed. I just think they've got such a strong team. And again, I don't think Gareth Southgate will be able to get England over the line. As much as I'd love them to, I wish I could say England will win it. And if England go and win it, I will be the happiest person on earth. But I just don't believe it. I think Brazil have too much quality. Southgate will probably drop another disaster class like he did in the Euro final. That was a crime. You go 1-0 up in a final and then you don't have another shot on target for the next 85 minutes plus extra time. You can't do that in a final of a cup and expect not to be punished. So mistakes were made then. I don't think this one will be mistakes. Italy were a very good side, but we had more quality than them. Our starting lineup compared to theirs, we had the quality advantage, but they were a brilliant team. They were well put together. They had very experienced players that knew exactly how to win games. With us against Brazil, Brazil have the quality. Can we do to Brazil what Italy did to us? I don't think so. I think the quality will shine through. So that is my prediction. Going through it all, I think that Brazil will win, England second, Uruguay third, and Netherlands fourth. Let me know down in the comments what your predictions are. Who is going to win this tournament? Who do you think will flop in the group? Do you think there will be a big team that there's so much expected of and they just won't get through? Let me know. And I know I've gone a bit rogue putting Uruguay through to a semi-final, but they're my dark horse. For some reason, I think they're going to go far, so I'll go with that. Make sure if you've enjoyed this video, you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any more World Cup content that's on the way. Come on, England.